Week 12 was absolutely insane in the NFL. Let's go over some of the craziest takes that happened this past week. Let's get into it. Welcome, everybody, to Top Dog Coverage, where you can get some of the best analytics, some of the best news. Hey, we're fans just like you guys, so we're in it just as much as you guys are. It's your boy Dirty. It's your boy C-Dub. C-Dub, how are you feeling on this post-Week 12 moving into Week 13?
One would say whimsical, I guess.
Whimsical. There's a word for it.
Yeah,
right.
How about that?
That's
had to look that one up in the dictionary. So
I'm gonna after this episode's done. I'm pretty sure I can sneak it into the
all right, Google Gemini, help.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys have not yet, make sure you guys follow us at Top Dog Coverage on just about everything. That includes YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, to make sure that you guys are staying up to date with the latest news and the latest predictions that we have. So if you guys listen to Spotify, Ghana, Deezer, anything, swipe up, leave the comments, hit the 5 stars. It helps out with the algorithm. But if we're going to get into anything, starting off, it's always going to be, what's it going to be, C-Dub? It's always
12 o'clock news.
With 12 o'clock news.
Prime time, baby.
Prime time. Hit us off with something, baby. Hit us off with some news.
All right. Raiders fans, rejoice. I know it's been a miserable season, awful, but there is somewhat a light at the end of the tunnel. Might be a train coming at you, but halfway through his first season back in the NFL, after an 8-year hiatus, Raiders offensive coordinator Chip Kelly is right back out. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Las Vegas has fired Chip Kelly. So breaking into the NFL as an immediate head coach after major success at Oregon, Kelly initially found more success in Philadelphia, taking his team to the playoffs in his first year at the helm in 2013. Kelly was given control over the roster decisions by owner Jeffrey Lurie, but after some questionable trades, some character complaints, and a losing record in his third season, Kelly was fired before he could finish year 3. Several teams attempted to land him after his dismissal, and he signed with San Francisco, where he's quickly let go after a 2-14 season. So, Raiders fans, to little surprise, it will indeed be Olsen taking over offensive coordinator duties on an interim basis. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reports. Greg Olsen has spent 14 seasons as an NFL offensive coordinator, and in 2023, he worked with Carroll and Smith in Seattle. All parties will hope that familiarity results in improved production to close out the season.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna be real about it, dude, like, I don't know. He had a stint here. He made with Marcus Mariota when he first came in. Not for nothing. It looked good. It looked like no defense can keep up with his offense. But then once you get the hang of it, you know what I mean, and you play that offense enough times, he just couldn't maintain that here in the NFL. It was good for college, but that was about it. He had like a few games in San Francisco, and that was it. And
yeah, you got to have the chips with a dip, and Chip Kelly ain't it. So he out. Go back to college.
It's only it's only the chips. You know what I mean? And you know what happens when you have too many chips? Nobody wants chips anymore. They want a little bit of dip.
Gotta have the chips with a dip.
Speaking of that, when I dip, you dip, we dip. I'm going to dip into some New York news.
Shocker.
As the New York Giants fire defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. Further changes along the sideline are taking place in New York as Shane Bowen's defensive coordinator tenure with the Giants has come to an end. Bowen has been fired, as per reported by NewJersey.com's Art Stapleton. Good job, Art. The move comes after interim head coach Mike Kafka's second game at the helm. The Giants once again found themselves in a position to close out a win yesterday, but they wound up dropping 34-27 contest in overtime to the Lions, with the defensive breakdowns still an issue. Bowen is being replaced. The news is now official per the team announcement. On 5 occasions this season, the Giants have led 10 or more points, but gone on to lose. That includes 3 blown double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. That trend has led to increasing calls for Bowen to be dismissed. The 38-year-old job security was a talking point after the 2024 campaign, with owner John Mara publicly criticizing him. As of early September, Bowen joined then head coach Brian Daboll as a candidate to be replaced during the season. So he out.
Yeah. I mean, you had to make a move in New York. I mean, it's just time. So
absolutely.
Speaking of that, I'm going to stay within that area, I guess. Okay. So the Buffalo Bills have signed receiver Brandon Cooks. So one day after becoming a free agent, Brandon Cooks has quickly found a new home. The Bills announced that they've signed the veteran wide receiver to their active roster. The Saints and Cooks mutually agreed to part ways last Wednesday, but there was a slight holdup on contractual technicalities. After the Saints amended Cook's contract, he passed through waivers unclaimed and became free to sign anywhere on Monday. A first-round pick of the Saints in 2014, Cooks is now heading to his 6th NFL destination. The 32-year-old has been part of a record-tying 4 trades during his career, but the Saints didn't find a taker for him before the November 4th deadline. Cooks has endured a down year with just 19 catches and 165 yards over 10 scoreless games, which explains why teams weren't eager to trade draft compensation for him. While Cooks didn't produce much in New Orleans with quarterbacks Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler this season, he may have a better chance in Buffalo with the reigning MVP Josh Allen at the helm. Cooks is easily the most accomplished receiver on the Bills roster, having amassed 729 catches, 9,697 receiving yards, and 60 touchdowns in 168 regular season games. As we all know, the receiver position has been a sore spot throughout the year for the Bills, who tried to address the issue at the deadline. They reportedly made a significant offer to the AFC East rival Dolphins for Jalen Waddle, but they failed to reel him in or anyone else. With receiver remaining a problem area, the Bills have dropped 2 of their 3 since the deadline to fall to 7-4. They're unlikely to chase down the 10-2 Patriots for a 6th straight division title, and a wild card berth doesn't look like a guarantee in a conference loaded with playoff contenders.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for their guys, over up there. They're always looking for new weapons, new this, new that, and look, that's just one thing that they have been trying to continuously find is a wide receiver one after they've lost Diggs. So, I mean, they're still winning, but that's one thing that they do lack. Yeah,
I mean, they've dropped a few here recently, but I think Cooks gives them another weapon in the passing game. I mean, he's not that burner that he was early in his career, but I mean, he's a good route runner. He's got solid hands. I think he will definitely add a veteran leadership to that room, and maybe he can help be a mentor to Keon Coleman to get his head on straight and, give the Bills even more weapons to trot out there. So,
yeah, let's take a train ride from Buffalo over to Cleveland, where Kevin Stefanski said on Monday that Dillon Gabriel has cleared concussion protocol. Nevertheless, the Browns will give the nod once again to Shedeur Sanders in Week 13. Cleveland won 24-10 in Vegas on Sunday, and the team will give its 5th-round rookie at least one more look as a result. The number one job of a quarterback is to win, Stefanski said. So excited to get that first win under his belt, and the next thing is improvement, and that's what young players do. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. So that'll be our focus. Gabriel's concussion left him sidelined for Week 12, ending a run of 5 consecutive starts. The third rounder was limited to the first half of the Browns game against the Ravens the previous week. That allowed Sanders to finish the contest in his place. During that time, Sanders completed just 4 of his 16 pass attempts while being intercepted once and sacked twice. A full week of practice with the starting offense, a first in Sanders' case given Cleveland's logjam at quarterback through training camp and the start of the season, resulted in increased expectations for his first career start. The Colorado product had an up and down day highlighted on one hand by a 52-yard completion to Isaiah Bond, and on the other hand by an avoidable interception. Overall, Sanders went 11 for 20, passing for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
I don't know if you knew this, but he does have a higher winning percentage than Tom Brady. So
cool.
So shouts out Shedeur, man. Let's see if he can make it 2 in a row. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go from Cleveland down to Tampa Bay. Okay. So the Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield suffered a sprain to his left non-throwing shoulder on Sunday against the Rams, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. So Mayfield left midway through the game and did not return to the field. He could be seen on the sidelines sporting a sling on his left arm as backup Teddy Bridgewater closed out the 34-7 loss. Bridgewater would start if Mayfield has to miss any time. An MRI on Monday confirmed the initial suspicion that Mayfield suffered a sprained AC joint. The sprain is considered quote-unquote low grade via Rappaport, and there was no additional damage to Mayfield's shoulder per ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. The 30-year-old status for next week's game against the Cardinals is still up in the air, but he appears to have avoided a major injury that could have seriously threatened the Buccaneers' playoff chances. After a strong start to the season, Tampa Bay's lead in the NFC South has evaporated. At 6-5, they are now tied for first place with Carolina. And though the Buccaneers hold the tiebreaker, they have lost 3 straight, while the Panthers have won 5 of their last 7. An absence for Mayfield would be a huge blow to an offense that floundered without him on Sunday. Though the Bucs do have a relatively easy schedule for the rest of the year, their next 3 opponents are a combined 9-24 on the season. After that are 2 crucial matchups with the Panthers, with a game against the 4-7 Dolphins.
The 4-7 Dolphins, you say, huh?
Sure.
Well, yeah, see. Yeah. Let's take this over to the Midwest. What do you say, Mountain time? Broncos expect cornerback Patrick Surtain and linebacker Alex Singleton back after the bye. Okay, so during an interview with Good Morning America, Singleton confirmed he hopes to return in Week 13 against the Commanders. He has been cleared to practice, so the next few days will be key in determining his status. The Broncos were able to pull off a crucial win for the division race last week, despite being without their star corner Patrick Surtain II and starting linebacker Alex Singleton. As they look to build on an 8-game win streak, the team is optimistic that the defense won't continue to be shorthanded following the week's bye, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Surtain hasn't played since October, when he sustained a pectoral injury against the Cowboys. In the immediate aftermath, the Broncos called the 2-time first-team All-Pro week to week. They were aware that recovery could take over a week, but weren't willing to yet place him on IR and guarantee a 4-game absence. So with him back, that defense is already a problem. But to have that number 1 cornerback there, it just gives that front line even more time to get to the quarterback, not being able to look at your number 1 wide receiver. Or, you know what I mean? Like, Surtain is always that lockdown guy. I don't want to say that he's underrated. I think he's exactly where he needs to be. But sometimes I feel like there are names, even like Sauce Gardner, that are thrown over him. And I really do believe that Surtain has I think he has a little bit more talent than some of these other corners. Not saying that they're better, but maybe different. But he's definitely one of the top. So
don't forget that Dart exposed them however many weeks ago, when they got darted, but they ended up winning the game.
This is true. And that was our take, right?
Those were your words. Those are.
I'll take those words, baby.
You know,
I got you.
Yeah. So, I'm going to finish this off back down in the Bayou. So, Saints fans rejoice. The Saints are making a change at kicker. Thank goodness. Cade York is set to join the practice squad in New Orleans per New Orleans Football's Nick Underhill, and Blake Grupe will be waived from the active roster as a result, according to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo. York won the Saints kicking job with a successful tryout on Tuesday morning, beating out disgraced former Raven Justin Tucker. So Grupe has had a tough season, is his 3rd in the NFL. He made just 10 of his 15 field goal attempts in the first 5 games of the year, with 1 miss inside of 40 yards and 2 more inside of 50. He bounced back in the next 4 games, missing only a 53-yarder and converting all 3 of his other tries. However, Grupe regressed in Week 12 against the Falcons, missing from 38 and 47 yards to drop his conversion rate to 69.2% on the year, a significant drop from the 81.1% and 87.1% marks of his first 2 seasons. The Saints coaching staff decided they had seen enough and opted to make a change. York, who was a 2022 fourth-round pick by the Browns, made 75% of his kicks as a rookie with 5 misses inside of 50 yards. The Browns released him during the final roster cuts in 2023. He bounced around with a few teams but did not make any appearances that year. York eventually found his way back to Cleveland during the 2024 offseason, but again failed to win the starting kicking job. He was traded to the Commanders to kick in Week 1 but missed both of his field goals and was released shortly after. York was later picked up by the Bengals for 5 games, during which time he made 9 of his 11 field goals and 13 of his 15 extra points. Despite the bounce back showing in Cincinnati, York did not receive any interest this offseason, but he will get a chance in New Orleans and could lock down the job for the rest of the year with a strong debut in Week 13. Cade York should be a familiar name to Saints fans because he was the LSU kicker during their 2019 national championship run. So he has been a solid kicker, and he's not groupie, so rejoice.
Yeah, they just got to regroup. Sorry,
it's not his name, so but okay.
I mean, it's close enough. I mean, I can't.
That's more of a Justin. That's more of a Justin Tucker reference than a groupie reference.
That's true. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, the fantasy football teams have been wild with these names this year. Okay, like there are some that are very iffy. Okay, maybe hold off on them, but. I think that that does it for the news aspect. You want to get into a bag with something that has been
Yeah, I feel like there's something that you're trying to bring to the table that we need to discuss.
Yeah, there's something
I heard there was a mutiny.
There was something called out about a trade in one of the leagues that we had. So last minute, I think it was I think the trade deadline's still open on this one, but 12-team PPR. He has an 8% chance to make the, playoffs. And I offered him, he had Bucky and Josh Jacobs and one other running back, but he needs two in there. So I offered him Ramondre Stevenson coming back, which I was looking at, and I noticed that he had 13, 15, and 18 carries before he got the toe injury.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian Watson, who had 20 points last week, for Josh Jacobs, who is hurt. And the league went wild.
Yeah. Did you announce parlay before the mutiny started?
What do you mean parlay?
It's an old pirate term, so that way they don't kill you right away.
No.
Man, you gotta watch Pirates. You gotta watch Pirates of the Caribbean, dude. Come on.
I probably should. Yeah.
Jack Sparrow, elite. You always, if there's a mutiny, you always gotta say parlay.
Parlay. I'm gonna remember this now,
so you can talk to the captain. But continue on with you trying to swindle this poor individual in this league.
Well, look, I offered it. At any given point, he could have said no or rebutted and, or given me another offer, right?
Well, I heard you threatened his life too, so
I may or may not have.
Give me the full story.
I may or may not have threatened to take away his bagel bites. Okay, and that is a man's,
Yeah,
that's so. Basically, what had happened was I offered this trade to him. He accepted it. He said, "Hey, I gotta try and win out." Now he did win, right? No advance to me because Stevenson didn't really get the carries that we thought he was going to get. But
Watson didn't do much either.
I mean, he did better in what he was doing coming off an ACL tear, right? So
he got 6 points, 9 points, maybe.
I think 9 or 10, yeah. So my thing is, I can't utilize Josh Jacobs right now, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to utilize him this week either, because it's another short week, right? Yeah. Although I do have a stacked team, right? Now, one of the things with this trade is that they wanted to push forward was the fact that there were no keepers that were involved in this. Okay, there were no key like for next year, like you didn't offer him a keeper. And I said, well, I already knew that he and I both knew that he was already keeping Scatterboo next year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no sense in sending a keeper if we know that he's keeping Scatterboo.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because you can't keep two, right?
No, and the trade value that they didn't like the fact that it was Stevenson and Watson versus Josh Jacobs. Now, this is where I see things, and it's completely understandable from that point of view from the league. Now, you got to have 6 vetoes in to make sure that this trade doesn't go through, and 4 made it, right? So people were definitely looking at this. I see it in this light, is the fact that, yeah, he's going to throw everything that he can in to make sure that he gets it. He can't utilize Josh Jacobs, and either can I. So they're calling it 2 bench players, but I used one last week. He put up 20 points, so you don't know when he's a boomer bust. That's what Christian Watson is. But if you look at Hunter Henry, who he was using, he was only getting anywhere between 1 and 5 points each week before, you know what I mean? Before
didn't Hunter Henry go off this week?
Yeah, he did.
He finished his tight end 1, right?
So the past 4 weeks he wasn't doing anything.
So in reality, you kind of screwed him over because he would have started Hunter Henry,
and he still won. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the thing. That's it's a touchy subject with people in this league because it is a well-respected league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like nobody's doing anything fishy or anything like that. But that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because due to the name value and stuff, right? It's Josh Jacobs. He's one of the top running backs in the league. Yep. Stevenson, he fumbles a lot, but he's been getting a lot of love from Vrabel. And Watson, I mean, he's been up and down since he's been back. So, I mean, I guess I can see it from both parties. He's desperate. But what I always lean back on is, like, if 2 fantasy managers decide on something that they both agree is equal value, let it go through. Like, it's fine. Like, nobody vetoed the Cowboys trading Parsons to the Packers for 2 firsts and Kenny Clark. Nobody vetoed the Quinnen Williams trade to Dallas.
Yeah.
Nobody vetoed in these big trades. Like, okay, it is what it is. If you guys agree on the value and you're both of sound mind when you do it, then it should go through. There should be no kickback from the league.
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to make sure it was fair because they wanted to, know if I was going to put this on the air, and of course I am. You know what I mean? No, me, I'll put everything out there, whether I'm right or wrong.
And you think it wasn't fair at all?
Nope. No, but he said a team
swindled the poor guy.
He wanted to know why a team mostly out of the playoffs trading an RB1 to a team in strong contention for a 5-way division race. Why you would trade that? So because everybody is within 3 games right now of making the playoffs and but now he's still in. Now he's back. He went from 7% to 8%. I know that's not a big leap, but at the same point,
it's not 0.
It's not 0. No, it actually it increased. So but I understand that because it does look like it's like, why would you give that to him? I still can't use him right now. So I'm still sitting here like, I really hope I can use Singleton or Josh Jacobs because I can't use Barkley's getting really tough to use, dude. He's getting very tough to use.
He's still getting touches though, so I mean, you can't. Yeah, it'd be hard to bench him.
Yeah, so I mean, that's more than doable though. I understand what the league meant by it, but things get heated sometimes. People start throwing out stats and X, Y, and Z. What I try not to look at, and it's very hard for people to see the direction that I see it from, is I try to take. Because people will say that, that he was a 5-time Pro Bowler or what have you. And I understand that. But
who cares?
5-time Pro Bowler means nothing when I can't use him right now. If I can't
he couldn't use him either. So, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's definitely, something that came to life a little bit in a way that I was really like, whoa. So
if you weren't involved in this and you saw this come across, what would your thoughts be on it?
I would do the research. I would look in there and I would say, you know what? He shot a shot. You know what I mean? Like he tried it out. Like I could look at it and say that, okay, Watson, in my opinion, is either a bust each week or he hits sometimes. I've seen him. You know what I mean? So you don't know which Watson you're getting. I would have questions too. I definitely would. Yeah,
for sure. Also, if I was this guy, I'd make an announcement like, "Hey, I got an offer for Josh Jacobs. He's for sale. Send me some more offers."
So that is what one of them said. He said, "How come he didn't do any work to make sure that he got more out of the value?" Right? And I said, "I don't know. That's your brother. That's not. I don't. You know your brother better than I do." So
yeah, I don't know. Just I would say that in the future, if you get an offer for a guy and you can't use him, and he's a bigger name like that, throw him out there. See if you can get a better offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
If that got vetoed, though, I was ready with one in the chamber, though. I was set for another trade.
Yeah,
and he was getting calls. I was like, I bet you're getting calls right now. He's like, dude, if this thing gets vetoed, yeah, I got offers ready. I said, well, there it is. So,
yeah. All right. Cool.
But with all of that said and done, I think we could do what? Want to go over some recaps?
Let's cover the games.
Yeah, let's cover the games. There was a lot of stuff that happened. A lot of stuff that was, whew. Yeah. You want me to start off?
You know what? No, I was personally hurt by this game on this Thursday game, so I'll kick us off.
Wait, hold on. Time out. How are you personally hurt when you traded me, Josh Allen? He got his ass kicked.
It has nothing to do with our league, which I'm still somewhat peeved about that, but we don't have to get into it here. It's a different league that it's an important league for me, and it cost me the matchup this week. So
okay, fair.
The Thursday night game, the Houston Texans ended up beating the Buffalo Bills 23-19. So Josh Allen was sacked 8 times and threw 2 interceptions. So he finished 24-34 for 253 yards, no touchdowns, and those 2 picks and those 8 sacks. On the ground, James Cook, he went 17 for 116 and a touchdown. And Josh Allen was 5 for 20 on the ground. And then Ty Johnson, best third down back in the league, went 2 for 7. And in the receiving game, Khalil Shakir paced the team. He had 10 targets, 8 catches, 110 yards. Ty Johnson, 3 targets, 3 catches, 45 yards. Jackson Hawes, 2 targets, 2 catches, 26 yards. Gabe Davis returned, 2 targets, 1 catch, 22 yards. Palmer with 4 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards, and a bunch of other players caught a pass. Khalil Shakir did fumble the ball. And this Buffalo defense, 0 sacks on Davis Mills. 3 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, only hit the quarterback 4 times. They did have a kick return touchdown from Ray Davis. But on the Houston side, I mean, they're rolling right now. Davis Mills, 16-30, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, no sacks, no interceptions. Woody Marks paced the team in rushing. He had 16 carries for 74 yards. Nick Chubb, 6 for 16, and a couple other players had a carry. Nico Collins, 3 targets, 3 catches, 55 yards. Christian Kirk, 6 targets, 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Jaden Higgins, 9 targets, 4 catches, 38 yards, and a touchdown. And then Dalton Schultz, really disappointing after catching, I think, 5 passes in the last 3 games. He had 4 targets, 1 catch, 8 yards, and then quite a few other players caught some passes. And then this Houston defense was the star of the show. I mean, again, they had 8 sacks on Josh Allen, 11 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, 12 quarterback hits.
Damn, that Houston defense getting at it.
And 2 interceptions. So, again, Houston really just bullied and beat the hell out of the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Josh Allen even took a pretty big hit, and he was down for a little bit. So,
yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah, it was tough for them, but Houston, well-deserved tough win, and Buffalo Bills are kind of reeling. They have to get back on track this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one where he just couldn't set his feet right. They were not giving him time to pass the ball. They were not giving him time to get set.
He couldn't do
that
nothing,
is
man.
He
couldn't do nothing, man.
He couldn't do nothing, man. That is one of those defenses that that are elite, that are top tier, that will get after your offensive line and will disrupt offensive plays. Like that is but let's get into a Steelers Bears game where the Chicago willingly took on the Steelers, invited them over for a little tea, if you will. And the Steelers just can't break this curse that they have over in Chicago. And yet they lose again 31-28 to the Chicago Bears. Mason Rudolph actually didn't do terrible. 24 for 31, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked twice. The running game went very well for the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. Kenneth Gainwell, 10 for 92, and Jaylen Warren, 18 for 68 and a touchdown. And DK Metcalf even had 2 for 12 and a touchdown, collectively going 36 for 186 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So they're utilizing that run game. And, what had happened was that defense was not really able to get after Caleb like they thought. They only were able to get 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 QB hit. And that's the big difference. Even though Caleb Williams only went 19 for 35, 239 yards, he had 3 touchdowns. Okay. 19 for 35 doesn't sound good, but when you're still making plays, it is good. So he's having 3 tutties in there, and they ran the ball okay. Monangai getting the bulk of the carries there, 12 for 48 and a touchdown. And they were just spreading love all over the place. 7 targets for DJ Moore, 5 for 64 and 2 touchdowns for him. And Colston Loveland getting 4 for 49 and 1 touchdown. And Rome Odunze, kind of a silent day-ish for him, but he had 9 targets, 3 receptions for 53. But I do want to go over, I missed a little bit over on the Pittsburgh receiving side, but there were 5 targets to Calvin Austin, went 4 for 36. Kenneth Gainwell even had a day with 6 receptions and 30 receiving yards, and DK Metcalf 5 for 22, and Pat Freiermuth getting in the end zone 3 for 19. So the Chicago defense able to get 2 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, and 4 QB hits, but I mean, look, they were just able to squeak by 3 points, and the Steelers took that loss. They're 6-5 now going into week 13, but the Chicago Bears rolling in heavy, man. 4-1 at home and 8-3 altogether. So who would have thought that they would have been here,
NFC North leading Chicago Bears.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let me go to Cincinnati. This was a very kind of a weird game for the Patriots and Bengals for that matter. The Patriots ended up winning 26-20. Drake May, kind of a little off day, 22 of 35 for 294 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Also took a sack. And they could not really get much going in the run game. You had Travion Henderson, had 18 carries, 66 yards. Drake May was 5 for 22. Demario Douglas, 1 for 14. And Ramondre Stevenson, 6 carries for 5 yards. Really tough day on the ground. And the receiving games, you had Hunter Henry have a career season best. He had 10 targets, 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Austin Hooper, 4 targets, 3 catches, 39 yards. Demario Douglas was 1 for 37. Matt Collins caught a couple passes. Stephon Diggs caught a couple passes as well. And just pretty quiet overall for them. In terms of that New England defense, they had 1 sack, 1 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, 6 quarterback hits, and a defensive touchdown. Marcus Jones took a pick to the house on a late throw from Joe Flacco. Kind of could see that clear as day. It was tough. And their rookie kicker, Andy Borregales, was 4 for 4 in the kicking game and 2 for 2 on extra points. So good days in terms of special teams. Yeah. And Cincinnati Bengals, you had Joe Flacco go 19 of 37, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 1 sack. And Jake Browning came in, threw 1 pass for 14 yards. And on the ground game, you had Chase Brown continue to dominate that backfield, 19 carries, 107 yards. Your boy Andre Yoshevas, 1 carry for 5. Taj Brooks, 2 for 5. And Joe Flacco, 1 for 3. And then in the receiving game, your boy again, 7 targets, 4 catches, 61 yards for Andre Yoshevas. Mike Gesicki in his game back, 6 targets, 4 catches, 35 yards. T. Higgins, who left the game late with a concussion, 6 targets, 5 catches, 31 yards.
My man landed on his face, dude.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad. So we'll see how he progresses. But Mitchell Tinsley, 6 targets, 2 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. And Chase Brown, 4 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards. But the Cincinnati defense, they came to play. They kind of bottled up New England in the first half, but they only got 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, 3 quarterback hits, and they also took a pick back to the house. Geno Stone took 1 pick, 32 yards for a touchdown, and Evan McPherson kicked a 63-yard field goal in this game, but he was 2 for 2 in the field goal game and 2 for 2 for extra points. So just kind of a weird, wonky game, but New England came away with the dub.
There it is. By the way, New England is 6-0 on the road. 6-0 on the road, not too shabby.
Road Warriors. They've had a pretty easy schedule, but at the same time, you still got to win. So,
yep. Let's take a little bit of a trip from Cincinnati going over to Detroit. Let's go a little bit north. And the Detroit Lions hosted the New York Giants, where, let's just say it, Jameis Winston had a day, all right? This is why I love the guy. Okay,
full Winston experience.
Yeah, and look, 50% of his passes, but when he throws it, he throws it. You know I love the guy. We both love the guy, okay? It just is
former Saint legend.
There it is. Jameis Winston, 18 for 36, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And Gunnar Olszewski, okay, went 1 for 1 with a 33-yard pass to Jameis Winston for a touchdown.
Play of the year.
Yeah, play of the year. It looked great. When you texted me, I said, dude, I missed it. And you're like, yeah, I had to look at this. It looked amazing. But they were able to get the running game going. Tyrone Tracy, 20 for 62 on the ground. Devin Singletary, 14 for 47 on the ground. And Jameis Winston, 4 for 13. So Wandale, look, just had a day, 14 targets, 9 receptions, 156 yards, and a touchdown. Okay. And then you had Theo Johnson, 3 for 77, Tyrone Tracy, 3 for 68, Isaiah Hodgins, 2 for 42 on the touchdown and a touchdown. And then Jameis Winston for that 1 for 33 and a touchdown. This defense was able to get after the quarterback a little bit. So they had 3 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 7 QB hits. So they were really trying to get after it. They were able to get an interception in there. And, let's take it to the other side of the ball. Jared Goff was still, he was still slinging it, 28 for 42, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions, sacked 3 times. But they just had a day on the ground here, or should I just say Jahmyr Gibbs had an absolute day. 15 carries, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Amon-Ra St. Brown went 9 for 149 and 1 touchdown with 13 targets. Jahmyr Gibbs had 12 targets. 12 targets as a running back, 11 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown in the air. This kid had an absolute day.
It's a franchise record for total scrimmage yards for the Lions.
Yeah. And you know what? It was just, look, I don't care who it is. This was a great game to watch if you were able to watch it. And it was a good old football game. That's what it was, man. You didn't want to turn your head for a second or you could miss it. But the Lions ended up taking the win at home, 34-27, going into overtime. New York Giants are 0-7 away, and they're 2-10. But the Detroit Lions are now 7-4, going on to Week 13.
Yeah, and it was Gibbs who ended in overtime, but that long touchdown run too. Like he got past the line and he was just gone. So
yeah,
that's crazy. But I'll go back to another NFC North matchup. The Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Packers ended up winning 23-6, and it raised a bunch of major questions for the Vikings here. JJ McCarthy went 12 of 19 for 87 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and took 5 sacks in the game. Jordan Mason, 8 carries, 42 yards. Aaron Jones Sr. was 9 for 41. McCarthy, 2 for 10. In the receiving game, you had Justin Jefferson get 6 targets, 4 catches, 48 yards, who was visibly frustrated throughout most of the game.
He was.
You had TJ Hawkinson, 4 targets, 4 catches, 19 yards. Aaron Jones Sr., 4 targets, 3 catches, 16 yards. And then Josh Oliver, 1 target, 1 catch, 4 yards. Everybody else dropped their target. And Minnesota fumbled the ball twice. Miles Price fumbled on a punt return, and J.J. McCarthy fumbled but was able to recover his. And this Minnesota defense, they only got 1 sack, 5 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, and 5 quarterback hits on the Packers. But in the passing game for Green Bay, you had Jordan Love go 14 of 21, 139 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, was sacked that one time. Malik Willis came in, threw a pass for 7 yards. Emmanuel Wilson, probably one of the big pickups from last week with the Josh Jacobs injury. He took 28 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris Brooks got 8 carries for 21. Jordan Love went 3 for 15, and Malik Willis went 2 for 3. And in the receiving game, you had Christian Watson get 7 targets, 5 catches, 49 yards. Dontavian Wicks, 4 targets, 2 catches, 32 yards. Romeo Dobbs, 3 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards. Emmanuel Wilson, 2 targets, 2 catches, 18 yards. And quite a few other players catch a pass. And this Green Bay defense, I mean, they were sacked J.J. McCarthy, again, 5 times, had 7 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, and 10 quarterback hits. They also intercepted him twice. Isaiah McDuffie got an interception, and Evan Williams, the safety. But just an overall tough day for the Vikings, and their quarterback situation is not looking good. I know J.J. McCarthy has a concussion, so he's questionable. He'll progress through the week to play next week, but Green Bay's rolling and Minnesota's falling.
Yeah. JJ's not looking too good over there, and that Vikings defense seemed to take a big step backwards. So, it'd be interesting to see how this is going to, play.
A lot of questions in Minnesota for sure.
Yeah. Let's go over to the Seattle Seahawks, where they flew over to Nashville. Okay. I would like to say we thought this was going to be a blowout, but not so much.
Cam Ward?
Good, doing a little something.
Got me feeling nicey.
Yeah. Let's start off on the Seattle side, where they took a win 30-24 over the Tennessee Titans. But Sam Darnold going 16 for 26, 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he was only sacked once. They were able to get the running game going between Walker and Charbonnet, 11 for 71 for Walker, and Charbonnet 6 for 35 with 1 touchdown. JSN getting 10 targets, went 8 for 167 and 2 touchdowns because he's an absolute animal. And then Kenneth Walker getting 4 targets, 3 for 30. And that's kind of where the bulk of everything went there. But the Seattle defense was able to get to Cam Ward 4 times, 6 tackles for a loss, and 11 QB hits. He was putting a lot of pressure on him, but Cam Ward did hold his own in this one. Not too shabby. He went 28 for 42, 256 yards and a touchdown, and they just couldn't get the ball going on the ground. Cam Ward had to do most of it himself, 6 carries for 37 and a touchdown. Tony Pollard only 11 for 20. Collectively 22 for 64 on the ground for the Tennessee Titans. But Gunnar Helm coming out here, having a game, 7 targets, 6 for 51, and Chimere DK, 7 targets, 5 for 44, and a touchdown as well. And he couldn't really get everything going. It was just Duncan Dive and Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, both 4 receptions for 21 yards. So he's just trying to get it to where he can possibly, get the ball moving, get those first downs. Their defense was not really able to get too much. 1 sack, 3 tackles for a loss, and only 3 QB hits. So no interceptions in this game. Just kind of a duel a little bit. And Seattle Seahawks just came out on top. They are that 8-3 team now, and the Tennessee Titans are that 1-10 team. So moving on to week 13, we'll see how both teams fare going on. So
yeah, and he also had his college teammate Xavier Restrepo get activated for this game, who had the 6 targets, 2 catches, 26 yards. He was the all-time leading receiver at Miami. I had between a second and a third round grade on him before he ended up running at like almost 4.8, 4.9 in the 40.
Mm-hmm.
But Cam Ward's a big fan, and they got him in there. So I know he made a couple big plays for them.
Yeah.
So
hopefully it just helps him out a little bit. It makes it a little easier for him. You want your quarterback to be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, you need more weapons for him. He's shown that he can be the guy. So excited to see what he can do moving forward. But how about we go to this thrilling matchup? Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts. Overtime thriller. Chiefs ended up winning 23-20. It's really fun to watch this desperate Chiefs team execute, right? But I'll start on the Indianapolis side. Daniel Jones went 19 of 31, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Jonathan Taylor only getting 16 carries for 58 yards, and Daniel Jones 3 for 16. And in the receiving game, you had Ashton Doolin, who is now in injured reserve, get 1 target, 1 catch, 48 yards. Tyler Warren continues his rookie season with 7 targets, 5 catches, 45 yards. Michael Pittman Jr., 8 targets, 5 catches, 27 yards, and a touchdown. Alec Pierce, only 2 targets, 1 catch, 26 yards. Josh Downs. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough day for him. And Josh Downs, 6 targets, 2 catches, 10 yards, and then quite a few other players caught some passes. But it's just Indianapolis, it just seemed like they, in the second half, they weren't as aggressive offensively, I guess. They were trying to play not to lose, it felt like. But, this Indianapolis defense played very well. They had 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, 11 quarterback hits, and an interception as well. So they were doing their part. But again, I mean, how are you only going to give Jonathan Taylor 16 carries when you're leading majority of the game? And you don't want to give Mahomes a chance at the end, which is exactly what they did. Mahomes went 29 of 46, 352 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick, and those 4 sacks. Kareem Hunt kind of turned the clock back a little bit. 30 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. He also lost a fumble as well. Mahomes was 4 for 30. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his second stint back with the Chiefs, 5 carries, 8 yards. Rashard Smith, the sensational rookie from SMU, 1 carry for 5 yards. And Kelsey even got a carry for a yard. But in terms of receiving game, you had another SMU product pace the team. He had 12 targets, 8 catches, 141 yards. That's Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy had 8 targets, 4 catches, 59 yards. Travis Kelce, 6 targets, 4 catches, 43 yards. And Brashard Smith, 4 targets, 3 catches, 31 yards. Kareem Hunt, 3 targets, 3 catches, 26 yards. And then quite a few other players caught some passes. But this Chiefs defense, I mean, they didn't really get too much on the stat sheet, but they buckled down when they needed to. 0 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections, and 6 quarterback hits. So Harrison Butker also went 5 for 5 in the kicking game. So Chiefs just fought and clawed their way back through the entire game and ended up pulling off a thrilling kick at the end.
Yeah, you can't give the Chiefs any wiggle room, man, because they will take that advantage, or they will take that little spot. They'll make room, and all of a sudden, before you know it, there's 3 points on the board. There's another 3 points on the board. Before you know it, we can get into the end zone real quick. The defense is tied. They'll work their way and they'll work their magic just to keep chipping away at you. And before you know it, it's like, wait, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, you got to stay aggressive and bury them, like double tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, double tap. Let's go over to Baltimore, where the Jets took a bus ride over to see Lamar Jackson. Tyrod Taylor came in there, went 17 for 28, 222 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, and sacked 3 times. New York Jets end up losing this game 23-10, where they fall to 2-9, and the Baltimore Ravens are now 6-5. But the Ravens really just did not look good in this game, as much as they kind of beat down on the Jets. But Breece Hall only went 16 for 44 on the ground, and Tyrod Taylor went 5 for 19, collectively 26 for 78 on the ground. But they were able to get Breece Hall. All 4 of his targets were caught, 4 for 75 on the ground. And John Mechie actually had a pretty good game. 7 targets, 6 for 65, and a touchdown. That's kind of what they're looking for right there. And, Mason Taylor, 3 for 21. Breece ended up fumbling it really close to the end zone, and ended up switching back over to the Ravens. But the Jets just had 1 sack, 1 QB hit, 2 tackles for a loss. And look,
you traded all your good players.
Yeah, pretty much. And Lamar Jackson, going over to that, even with the lack of defense, he did not play a good game. He went 13 for 23, 153 yards. And Derrick Henry went 21 for 64, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and collectively 34 for 98, as the Ravens team really couldn't get, the run game going out of 5 different ball carriers. So 6 targets for Zay Flowers, 5 for 58. I mean, that was basically it right there. There were a couple long bombs, but that was about it. Derrick Henry 2 for 24 and DeAndre 2 for 13. That's it. There's not too much that happened in this game. It was kind of a fugly matchup, but their defense ended up getting 3 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and 7 QB hits, and it just wasn't a good game to watch. The New York Jets just continue to smell it up in every stadium they play at, and the Baltimore Ravens better get it together before next week because, they started 1-5 or 2-5, something like that, and they're 6-5 now. But that did not look good, and you cannot go into Week 13 with all these better.
They play in 2 days.
Yeah, you better get it together some way, somehow.
Yeah. So speaking of fugly matchups, you had the Cleveland Browns going over to Las Vegas, facing off against the Raiders. And the Browns won 24-10. Shedeur Sanders looked okay in his debut. He went 11 for 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only took 1 sack, which was good because the knock on him was he took a lot of sacks. He sat back there in the pocket quite a bit. But, again, he played well. He played decent. So Quinshon Judkins took the bulk of the carries. He had 16 carries for 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dylan Sampson was 7 for 23, and he had quite a few other players get carry. But in the receiving game, you had Dylan Sampson, the rookie running back, 3 targets, 2 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah Bond, 2 targets, 2 catches, 58 yards with that long 52, which is a really good play by Shedeur. And it kind of hung up there, but they got it done. Harold Fannin Jr., 6 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 3 targets, 1 catch, 39 yards, and a fumble. And a couple other players caught a pass as well. But the real story about this game wasn't necessarily Shedeur, even though he played okay. It was this Cleveland defense, man. They finished with 10 sacks, 3 coming from Myles Garrett, 13 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, and 20 quarterback hits. Let me repeat that. 20 quarterback
11
hits.
sacks.
10 sacks.
10 sacks. 11 collectively. We actually... One of our bold takes was that this game would have 20 sacks in it. And Cleveland did their half.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just surprised that Geno didn't leave on a freaking stretcher, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, on the Raiders side, box score stat, it doesn't look too bad for Geno. I mean, he was 30 of 44, 285 yards, 1 touchdown. It just shows 10 sacks, right? Mm-hmm. But if you watch the game, he did not play well. The Raiders' offense looked out of sync. It looked awful, which is also why Chip Kelly is now on the street. But Ashton Jeanty, their star rookie running back, only 17 carries for 50 yards, averaging 2.9 a carry. Geno was 3 for 8. Raheem Mostert 1 for 2. And in the receiving game, you had Tyler Lockett continue to come in and kind of be the de facto number 1 for them. 5 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. Ashton Jeanty, 8 targets, 8 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Brock Bowers, 9 targets, 6 catches, 55 yards. And then you had quite a few other players catch a pass. Geno Smith also fumbled twice, lost 1 of them. And this Raiders defense, we thought they'd have a chance to perform pretty well, which they made a couple plays. They got 1 sack, 11 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflection, 5 quarterback hits. They also intercepted Shedeur that 1 time, and they forced that fumble on Jerry Jeudy after that big pass that he got. So tough day to be a Raiders fan. Again, they just did not look good, and this Cleveland defense is the real deal, despite their 3-8 record.
Certainly is. Let's take it over to a very, very close game where the Jacksonville Jaguars made their way over to Arizona, taking a win 27-24 in overtime. Another overtime game, the 3rd one, I believe, in this one. Making Jacksonville Jaguars 7-4, and the Arizona Cardinals now 3-8 going into week 13. But Trevor Lawrence went 18 for 30, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions with 3 sacks. They got the ball rolling on the ground. Travis Etienne 15 for 86. Trevor Lawrence went 5 for 29, and Bashal Tutin 7 for 17. But even Brenton Strange coming back, catching all 5 of his targets for 5 and 93. Parker Washington, 5 for 71 and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 4 for 50 and a touchdown. Travis Etienne got 4 targets, 3 for 30 and a touchdown. So they were trying to spread the ball around. Trevor Lawrence ended up fumbling the ball and lost it. But I will say this Jacksonville Jaguars defense starting to uptick a little bit. 6 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss, 15 QB hits. They are starting to make a little bit of noise with this defense, and that's exactly why they made the trades that they did and picked up some new people that they did as well. So Jacoby Brissett, moving that over, still doing Jacoby Brissett things, man. I mean, I think this was the right move for the Arizona Cardinals. Putting Jacoby Brissett in and putting Kyler on the bench here. 33 for 49, 317 yards and a touchdown, sacked 6 times. And Kendon Slovis went 1 for 1 with negative yards. Yeah, yep. And they could not get the ball rolling on the ground collectively. Arizona rushed 20 for 55, but again, Michael Wilson having a day here, man. Jacoby Brissett seems to really like this guy. 15 targets, 10 receptions for 118 yards. Trey McBride, my boy, 10 targets, 9 receptions for 79 yards. Greg Dortch, 9 targets, 6 receptions for 53. Dortch, 6 for 53 and a touchdown. And Michael Carter and Van Knight getting some work in the pass game as well. So Greg Dortch ended up fumbling the ball as well, but this Arizona defense had 3 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and 5 QB hits. It could have been better, right? Like they did. Budda Baker had an interception. Akeem Davis had an interception. Garrett Williams had an interception, and you just would have thought that could have been enough to get that win. You know what I mean? It's a 3-point game. You know what I mean? But they did go to overtime.
They had their opportunities. They just couldn't capitalize.
They fought their butts off, man. They really did, and they just couldn't do it. So, I mean, shout outs to good game to watch. Again, another overtime victory or another overtime game that just that looked good. It was a good game to watch. So,
all right, we'll go to my my local team. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys ended up tying the franchise record for biggest comeback in team history. They ended up winning 24-21 over the reigning Super Bowl champions. But Jalen Hurts went 27-39, 289 yards, 1 touchdown, was only sacked 1 time. But the ground game, they could not get anything going. So maybe Jerry Jones is partially a genius. I don't know. But Jalen Hurts, 7 carries for 33 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon went 10 for 22, and then Tank Bigsby 1 carry for 8 yards. But A.J. Brown rose from the underworld, I guess. He had 10 targets, 8 catches, 110 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So the breakout game was finally here for Mr. Brown. Devonta Smith went 11 targets, 6 catches, 89 yards. Saquon, 8 targets, 7 catches, 52 yards. And quite a few other players caught some passes. But in this game, Saquon fumbled, as did their returner, Xavier Gibson, on one of the most hustle-eccentric plays ever that you'll see from the Cowboys gunner, which was incredible from him. But this Philadelphia defense only got 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, 6 quarterback hits, and 1 interception. But in this game, on the flip side, on the Dallas side, Dak Prescott, who is now the all-time leading passer for the Dallas Cowboys. So congrats out to Mr. Dak. But he went 23 of 36 for 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 pick, and then 1 sack. But in the running game, Javonte Williams, his resurgence continues. He had 20 carries for 87 yards. Malik Davis, 3 for 24. And Dak got it done. He had 5 carries, 9 yards, and a touchdown. And he got a couple other players get a carry as well. But also George Pickens continues to just be a monster out there. 9 targets, 9 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 11 targets, could only muster up 4 catches for 75 yards. Jake Ferguson, 6 targets, 5 catches, 60 yards. Kevontae Turpin, 2 targets, 1 catch, 48 yards. And then Javonte cut a couple passes as well. But in this game, you had Kevontae Turpin fumble and lose it. Jake Ferguson also fumbled, but they were able to recover. But the Dallas defense, they got the 1 sack on Hurts, 2 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, and 6 quarterback hits. But, Brandon Aubrey, as surprising it is, he went 1 for 2 in the kicking game. He did miss one, but he was able to knock the game winner through. But a huge win for Dallas. And Philadelphia, I don't know. I think, as you would say, they got a little exposed. So I think it's really hard for them to, with their offense the way it is to play from behind. So teams are just going to need to run up the score and, challenge Hurts to throw the ball. So,
yeah. I'm going to leave the Falcons Saints game for you, and I'm going to go over to the Buccaneers and Rams game. Okay.
I relive my nightmares.
Sorry, I have to relive my dude. You and I are going to be in a big nightmare in about a month. Okay, so
yeah, are they both going to get negative points and lose?
Maybe. I really just hope I get some gumbo while I'm over there. That's really all I care about. So
that's gonna be the easiest win that we get.
There you go. But yeah, let's go to the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they absolutely pummeled the Buccaneers 34-7, increasing their record to 9-2, putting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to 6-5. Where Baker Mayfield started off, went 9 for 19, 41 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions, got sacked twice, and Baker Mayfield got hurt. He sprained that shoulder, and Teddy Bridgewater came in, went 8 for 15, 62 yards, no touchdown, no interception, but also sacked twice. This team was able to run the ball, fairly well. Sean Tucker, 12 for 42, Rachaad White, 7 for 38. Baker Mayfield is really trying to make some plays, 4 for 19 on the ground, but it didn't really matter. Nobody had over 4 catches in this game. 8 targets to Miko, only catching 3 for 32. Tez Johnson going 3 for 21 and a touchdown. Cade Otton trying to get his 7 targets, 4 for 21, and it just wasn't working for this. Grant Barton. Baker Mayfield. They ended up fumbling the ball, and just bad things were happening, man. It just wasn't working out for them. This defense did not attack the quarterback like they usually did. They were only able to get 1 sack, 3 tackles for a loss, 3 QB hits, while you just let Matthew Stafford go 25 for 35, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack. Kyron Williams went 12 for 46, and Blake Corum 7 for 24. But Puka Nacua, 11 targets, 7 for 97. 8 targets to Devontae Adams, catching 5 for 62 and 2 touchdowns. Colby Parkinson, 4 for 41 and 1 touchdown. And it's just, he just spreads the ball wherever he really wants to go. Okay, so Los Angeles didn't really, he didn't fumble the ball, they didn't lose the ball. Their defense was able to get 4 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, 6 QB hits. 1 interception, 2 interceptions, Kobe Durant and Emmanuel Forbes Jr. So look, that they're firing on all cylinders. The Rams doesn't look like they're slowing down. This is I'm sorry, but I'll say it right now. This is a team to beat right now. Like, if you don't put pressure on Matthew Stafford, if you don't make him uncomfortable, like, he's just doing whatever he wants out there.
He's easily the MVP of the league right now. I mean, let's just be real about it. And the crazy part about it is, during the offseason, he wasn't even practicing. We weren't sure if he was going to play. He was in a trailer at every practice. I don't know what he was doing. They were rebuilding him. I don't know, but
they cloned him.
Yeah, he ain't real. Like, I don't know. He's just playing outrageous. It's crazy, but yeah, Stafford and the Rams, like, as much as it pains me, like, they are absolutely the team to beat right now. Stafford is the favorite for MVP, as he should be. But how about Devontae Adams? I mean, you guys ruined him over the Jets after the Raiders ruined him, so he was double ruined. But then he get him with Sean McVay and Stafford, and this dude's caught 20 touchdowns already. It's incredible.
Yeah, he is loving him. I mean, their wide receiver core, their running backs, their tight ends, they have a slew of everything, So
yeah,
and their defense, just
elite,
firing on all cylinders, going.
Elite. Jared Verse, he is just such a stud, and Kobe Turner. I mean, they've got a bunch of dudes over there. So yeah, good for them. But I'm going to go to the skip game, the NFC SAD, aka the NFC South. But the Falcons ended up beating the New Orleans Saints 24-10. Just another fugly game. I mean, let's just call it what it was. Kirk Cousins went 16-23, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, was sacked 3 times. But he didn't really look that comfortable. But, the Saints just shot themselves in the foot and couldn't get it done. But Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, 70 yards. Tyler Algiers, 12 for 44. Cousins was 2 for 5, and Felipe Franks was 1 for 2. In the receiving game, Darnell Mooney taking over that receiver 1 spot, 3 targets, 3 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Bijan, 2 targets, 2 catches, 37 yards. Kyle Pitts Sr., 5 targets, 2 catches, 25 yards. And you had quite a few other players catch a couple passes, with David Sills, the 5th, catching 2 for a touchdown. Kirk Cousins fumbled in here, but he did not lose it. And this Atlanta defense, they were able to sack the Saints 5 times, 6 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections, and 9 quarterback hits with an interception as well. But the story of this game, I mean, the Saints, they got into the red zone multiple times and came away with 3 points out of, I think, 5 or 6 red zone trips. So it was just absolutely atrocious. Play calling was awful. So there's a lot of stuff that they got to go back to the drawing board and fix. But you had Tyler Shuck go 30 of 43, 243 yards, no touchdowns, that 1 interception, and was sacked 5 times. Taysom Hill was 0 for 2 on his passes. And Shuck led the team in rushing, 7 carries, 22 yards. Devin Neal was 7 for 18. Taysom Hill was 10 for 17. And then Mason Tipton 1 for 11. And Alvin Kamara was 3 for 11 before his injury. But Chris Olave continues to be the guy in the passing game, 13 targets, 9 catches, 70 yards. Jawan Johnson, 7 targets, 6 catches, 46 yards. Devin Neal, 7 targets, 5 catches, 43 yards. Devon Vele, 7 targets, 3 catches, 37. Mason Tipton, 4 targets, 3 catches, 22 yards. Dante Pettis got involved, 1 target, 1 catch, 14 yards. And then Alvin was 2 targets, 2 catches for 4 yards. Tyler Shuck lost a fumble. Taysom Hill also fumbled, but he was able to recover it. But the Saints defense, only 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, those 2 quarterback hits. And Justin Reed took his 1 interception back to the house for a touchdown. And then Blake Rupe was 1 for 3 on field goals, which is why he's now on the street. Our Kai Kroger, the punter, has the worst net average in the entire league. So the Saints team, has a lot of questions. They need a lot of answers, and I don't think we'll figure out what they're going to be this year. And they're going to continue to fight for a first pick until some things change, specifically with Coach Moore's play calling in the red zone. I mean, I think they were down there, like I said, I think 4 to 5 times. Shuck, I don't believe he even threw 1 single pass. Like it was crazy. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe he threw 1 or 2, but I don't think he did. It was just bizarro, awful play calling, and they had a chance to win at home and blew it.
Yeah, it's well, we got to face the Atlanta Falcons, so the Jets are
yeah.
Figure out how that goes. Let's go to the all drunk game, as we as C-Dub would call it yesterday, where the Carolina Panthers made their way over to San Francisco, where the San Francisco 49ers increased their record to 8-4 with a win over the Carolina Panthers, putting them 6-6. 49ers winning 20-9. Bryce Young going 18 for 29, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with 1 sack. They could not get the ball rolling here. 13 carries for 69 yards collectively for the Carolina rushing game, and they had to actually carry that into the air. So they, Rico Dowdle 4 for 36, and Chuba Hubbard 4 for 27, and Tetaroa and McMillan, 2 for 35, but got that touchdown in. So it's, they really couldn't get a lot going on. Trevor Etienne ended up fumbling. Their defense just couldn't get any sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 1 QB hit. They were able to get, J.C. Horn was able to get 2 interceptions. Miles Jackson ended up getting another interception. So 3 interceptions for this team for Carolina. But it didn't really affect the San Francisco 49ers so much, because they were kind of doing the same thing. Brock Purdy, 23 for 32, 193 yards and 1 touchdown, and also 3 interceptions. He wasn't sacked once, but they were able to get the running game going. Christian McCaffrey, 24 for 89 and a touchdown. Brian Robinson, 7 for 40. And 10 targets for George Kittle. He went 6 for 78. 7 targets for Christian McCaffrey, 7 for 53. You love that dual action with CMC right there. And then 7 7 targets for Juwan Jennings, 5 for 41, and a touchdown. So Christian McCaffrey ended up fumbling the ball once, and it threw the ball over to the other side. They were only able to get 1 sack, 2 and 2 tackles for a loss, and in 3 QB hits. So it was a real odd game. San Francisco got 2 interceptions by Jair Brown, so he ended up getting a really, really good game for him. And it was just very, very odd. 5 interceptions, and I think most of it happened in the first quarter. So it was the all drunk game, as C-Dub would say, and not exactly what you would want to watch on a Monday night. So
did you know that now after this game, Christian McCaffrey leads the league in catches?
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe it's 81 on the season. So he's San Francisco's number 1 receiver and running back. So dual threat to the max.
Wow. So did you hear but before we close this, I guess that's the last game, but have you heard about what Brian Schottenheimer had said about going into the game with the Kansas City Chiefs?
What he said about going into the game?
Yeah, going into the game. So CeeDee Lamb had a lot of drops.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear this.
And he's gonna just keep on force feeding them. So it's just kind of, we're gonna pass the ball, and when we score, we're not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep passing him the ball. And it's like, all right, well,
he is as great as Pickens has been. CeeDee Lamb is an outrageous talent, so he's a complete stud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Dak's gonna continue throwing into the open guy. Yeah. So whoever that is. That Cowboys, their offense, we've talked about it all year. Their offense is elite. I think Schottenheimer's a good coach. I know a lot of people were down on the hire when he first took over the reins in Dallas. He was just going to be another Jerry puppet. But I think he's a solid coach, just like his dad was. And, I think he's got the Cowboys in a good spot.
Yeah, they got Ferguson over there. Javonte seems to be doing what Javonte used to do, which is great. They have 2 extraordinary wide receivers over there. They just added to that defense with Quinnen Williams and the run stuffer from
Kenny
Clark. So I don't think people really understand what they just did on that front line over there.
That, and they also traded for Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals.
They did.
They got their 2 stud defenders back from the PUP list with Demarion Overshown and Siobhan Revel, the rookie corner. So
fast, dude. Fast.
Yeah, coming off a torn ACL, but these guys are talented, and they're going to add more juice to the defense, and we'll see how it shakes up down the stretch.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what Week 13 brings, but it was a very, very shocking Week 12.
Week 13, lucky number 13, right? Or unlucky? Or was Friday the 13th? I don't know. I feel like that's where everything's up and down. You got the new Stranger Things coming out soon, so we're about to be in Upside Down Land, or wherever they call it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that either. It's going to be a fun one to watch. And if anybody's, you even brought it to my attention that it comes out the night before.
The 26th.
Yeah, I did not know that, and I was like, I thought it was going to come out the night of, so I was ready for that. But
no, the night of is all football.
Yeah,
we got 3 matchups on Thanksgiving, full bellies, ready to rock and roll and yell at the TV and talk about, big third down right here. This is a big down in the game.
Speaking of big third downs, if you guys want to make sure that you guys get all of your news and everything from us, follow us at Top Dog Coverage, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you swipe up. Make sure you guys are listening. Make sure you hit that notification, subscribe. That way, when we let some of these episodes go out, that bell goes off. You guys can hit the play button, and you can hear our voices, whether you like it or not. So, ding, ding, ding. There it is. See. Me and C-Dub, we know how to tag team it. We're pretty good at this, or so we think. We might not be that good, but you guys still listen, and we appreciate you guys.
I don't know. The jury's still out.
The jury is still out. But and if you guys ever need, you guys want to make sure to email us at topdogcoverage@gmail.com. Tell us your football stories, your advice. Maybe you guys got some advice for us. Hey, we're always open to hear some criticism, or maybe just what you guys want to hear. So we're always open to that. But
unless you're a Falcons fan, then we don't care. Don't email us.
Yeah, I will take those emails. No worries, I'll take those emails. Don't worry about it. Just know that they will be passed on to me. So any Patriots fans, you can talk to C-Dub over there.
Yeah, Will, hit me up.
Will, yeah, good old Will. Shout outs to Will. And you know what? Shout outs to Luis down in Houston too. So it's our boy.
Both of them got the dub. So.
But it is your boy C-Dub. It is your boy Dirty. We thank you for listening. And remember to hit that follow, hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you want. And make sure you guys vote on the polls. We always have polls going every week on YouTube. And let us know who you guys think can be the MVP. But from Dirty and C-Dub, if we don't get to see you guys again, make sure you have a great Thanksgiving. Make sure you guys sit in front of that TV and make sure you guys are watching those big plays because we want to hear from you as well. So
they're down right here.
Here you go. So from C-Dub and Dirty, we wish you all a very happy and fruitful Thanksgiving. And we are out. Peace, guys.